the season will have, but what would make this a successful year for you in your eyes by the end of the year?
I don't like to get too much into the big picture stuff in the middle. For us right now, it's about being 1-0 this week. That's been our message to the team. That's been our team leader's message to the rest of our guys as well. That's where our focus is going to be. And you're kind of in the trenches right now, and you're not worried about what happens before. You're not real focused on what happens after. It's, trying to prepare really well this week and go get a win at Maryland.
Halfway through the season, how would you assess the receiver play?
Well, kind of in the same frame of mind. I thought we did some really good things the other day. I think we've played some of our better games here as of late, so I think the group has progressed. We still want to continue to get those guys opportunities because we think we've got some really good weapons out there. They've all had some really bright moments. We've missed a couple that we wish we could have, whether we didn't make the play on the ball or we missed the throw or we didn't have the protection. We've left a couple out there that we need to go get here in the back half of the year. But I do think we're improving as a group. I think those guys individually are improving, and I think they're keyed up to play pretty well.
Lincoln, you've said pretty emphatically that Miller is the starter
Mm-hmm.
and will be. Very confident in him moving forward. Is Jaden pushing him at all?
Jaden's doing a really good job. I'm very confident if the situation arose that Jaden was going to play, that he would play well. But Miller's our starter. Miller's played a lot of really good ball. He's put our team in position to win a lot of games. He, like anybody, some of the things that he needs to do better, he owns it, and I promise you, he wants it more than anybody with what he puts into it. But no, he's our leader, he's our starter. There's zero question about that.
What are the things that maybe Miller could do better?
Honestly, the biggest thing, he's just, in the last few games, he's just missed a few throws that he rarely misses. And that's really been about it, honestly. His decision making has been good. He's had one or two loose decisions a game, which with the number of things we ask our quarterback to do is you want to get them all, but it's still, he's definitely processing at a very high level. I think he's handled a lot of the different situations that we've been in because we've been in a lot here in a short amount of time. I think he's done a good job handling them. I think the biggest thing is just settling in and finishing some of these throws because we've had some stuff there and he's made some great ones. And honestly, some of the ones the other day he made some really, really difficult throws. Some really difficult throws. And so I think settling in and really seeing his accuracy climb, here the back half, I think will be very important.
Do you expect Anthony Lucas to play Saturday?
No, we lost Anthony for the season. Yeah, Anthony had to have a procedure done this morning on his leg, so we won't have him anymore this year.
Who, in your eyes, can help replace him?
Well, you got the handful of guys that we've been playing with on the edge already that are going to get opportunities and potentially more opportunities, and then we'll certainly look at some of the young guys, Cam Fountain, Cowan, and guys like that have been working behind the scenes and been part of that development that we've been pushing so hard. So hate it for Anthony because he was really he had really improved. He'd had a really strong impact on our defense. But he's in a good frame of mind. We'll be excited to get him back next year and get him rolling and build on all the progress he made. And in the meantime, it's going to create an opportunity for some more guys to step up. And it's one of those that you hate when you lose a key player, but what the positive of this is there's going to be somebody else emerge that maybe wouldn't have had the same type of opportunity. So we're disappointed for Anthony, but excited about what comes next.
What was the injury with him?
Lower extremity injury.
You guys have had one of the best third down defenses in the country this year. It hasn't quite translated to fourth down. What if anything has stood out on some of those fourth down plays?
Oh, it's a little hard to group them up. The ones the ones the other day. We had two different strategies. We brought pressure on one, and we had a free runner right at the quarterback, and we just weren't able to get him down, and he made kind of a circus play. We weren't in actually terrible shape in coverage either. It was just kind of one of those things. And the one I think the biggest deal for us is just continuing to have different ways to affect the passer. That's very important. We've done. Like you said, we've been such a good third down defense. That's definitely been one of the strengths of not just our defense, but our entire team. But when you get those fourth downs like that, where you get a chance to shut the door on somebody, especially two opportunities like that, you got to make one of them. And we got to be better. We got to continue to affect the passer. And then when we get some of the opportunities in the back end, whether to knock a couple of those balls down, Kamari had a chance on the third down play right before it to pick it off. That would have been an unbelievable play. But those are some of the ones that we have to make to shut the door and close these teams out.
Coach, you're 0-2 just on the road in Big Ten games. What have you kind of learned from those experiences in Minnesota and Michigan that you guys can carry on to the game against Maryland?
Well, I think each team learns going on the road, how challenging it is and how thin the margins are on the road. And there's gonna be challenges. You're gonna have to deal with the crowd. You got to travel well. You're gonna have tough calls. Like, that's just all part of playing on the road. So we've played. We put ourselves in position to win them both, but again, it all comes down to finishing. I mean, that's the obvious answer, but it's the truth. So hopefully we can learn from those experiences, go play a really clean game on the road, go get some momentum, and really be able to sustain it on all three sides.
Lincoln, what's the plan to just kind of overcome? That DL room is already pretty thin. When you look at just banged up with Gavin and barely obviously leaving earlier in the season. What's the plan? What's the confidence in the young guys to be able to step up amid kind of all those absences?
Yeah, I think I just went through the plan. I don't know if there's anything else I would add to it. I mean, I think you rely on the development that's been going on behind the scenes and the guys that you've recruited. And maybe there's some guys that you thought, well, maybe their role won't be quite as much this year, or maybe they redshirt or whatever, that now all of a sudden they're going to have that opportunity. And all of us can point through our careers to guys that became phenomenal, like kind of cornerstone type players of a program that they got their first shot like this. And so there's always, anytime you lose a guy, or don't have a guy available, sure, you're disappointed, but then there's always somebody that steps up. It's like the mind thinks, oh, well, there's going to be a void there, like we're going to go out there with 10 players, and it's like, no, somebody else is going to step up and take advantage, and they're going to be better because of it. So, Henny and Sean have been working hard to develop those guys, and now they're going to get their chance.